we are going to be talking about what we should expose our puppy to outside of its home. Join Jim and Sarah as they discuss some of those things that we might expose our puppy to.
So I know last time we talked about getting Retta accustomed to her new home, her new surroundings, because it was all scary and kind of intimidating at first, and she got used to that pretty quick. And then so we've kind of gone other places, gone on walks at different places where there's other people, other dogs, maybe taking her to a pet-friendly store, and she's getting better with those things as well and really opening up to new places. But what are some other specific scenarios relative to hunting in general that she should really get used to, that she's not going to see every day just at home?
Yeah, absolutely. You think about if you go hunting somewhere and what you have to do. Sometimes if you're going on long trips out west, or even just here in Ohio, if you're from southern Ohio and you want to drive up here to Lake Erie Marshes to go duck hunting, you have to create kind of situations for that dog leading up to that point. So it's never anything really new up to that point, because all that is a part of the hunt. Just traveling. So for instance, putting them in a kennel, getting them used to a small kennel in the back of the truck, getting them used to gunfire, introducing them to that. Also, just riding in the truck. Just taking a simple ride in the truck is really, really important. That exposure. So next time you're going, if you're going to town for an ice cream cone, take the dog with you. Just keep exposing your dog to different things that you think that they're going to need to do in order for them to go hunting with you.
So you mentioned gunfire, and I hear a lot of stories about dogs being gun shy or terrified of hearing those loud noises. What is something that I can do to avoid that? Because that's obviously a part of hunting that you can't avoid.
Absolutely. So what you want to try to do is associate gunfire with something very positive. So one of the things we do, when maybe you should try with Retta, is go to your local dollar store, someplace cheap, and buy one of those little cheap cap guns. And maybe fire one of them caps right before Retta eats in the morning. So when she hears that crack, she hears that loud noise, that she associates that with something positive. For her, that would be food. Even maybe a snack, if you want to introduce a snack at that point. But always, but try to always, whenever you create those loud noises with a cap gun, or for when we use I use a shotgun with just the primer in the hull. So basically what that is just it's a very small noise as opposed to a loud shotgun blast. And maybe take your dog to a local gun range. Put it on a leash, and just say good girl the whole time that you're holding your dog. But always keep it positive. Keep loud noises positive, and for the most part, you won't have to worry about your dog being gun shy.
So maybe another distraction that I can think of that is specific to waterfowl hunting is decoys. Obviously, she's never going to see these things before. They look real, but they're not, so that's kind of confusing, and I can imagine that if she runs through it, she might get tangled up. So yep. What do I do with that situation?
Yeah, so when you're playing with her, when you're in class, or even when you're playing with her, introduce your dog to decoys. Show them decoys. Maybe throw a few in the water, and then throw your bumper into the pond. Let them swim around the decoys. The first thing they're going to do is pick them up and you think, "Oh, this is great," and they're going to want to carry them. But after a while, it becomes almost insignificant to them. They just see them as they would a plant or anything else. So introduce them to also, like if you're duck hunting and use boats, introduce them to your boat. Have them come in and out of the boat. I use the command truck on our dogs. When we go hunting, we say truck, and it'll jump into the back of the bed of the truck and then into his kennel. I also use that same command when we get into our boat. So I'll use the word truck, even though we're not going into a truck, we're going into a boat. But they don't know that. They see it as something they're going into to take a ride. So I use the word truck, whether it's going in the truck or in a boat.
An unfortunate occurrence I know that happens while we're hunting is, an injury, whether that's, a splinter in their paw or maybe something gets in their eye. I know those things occur, so I'm trying to prepare myself for that. And I know that those aren't avoidable, but what can I do to make that easier, on the dog if those things do happen?
Yeah, it's inevitable. If you hunt with your dog with any significant amount of time, something's going to happen. It's just the way it is. So always keep a first aid kit close by, whether it's in your truck or if you're going out west, we keep one in our camper out there. But always, one thing, most of the injuries are probably going to occur around the eyes, or possibly mouth injuries or whatever. So one of the things that we like to do is constantly look in their eyes. Out here in the marshes, our dogs get a lot of seeds in their eyes, and that's from running through the marsh. So even though maybe your dog isn't injured, you might want to just look at their eyes, just inspect their eyes. And when you do that, what you're doing, if you do that every week, what you're doing is they're becoming used to you doing that. They become kind of conditioned that, hey, it's okay if she looks in my eye. So do things like that they may not enjoy at first, but keep doing it. Their eyes, their teeth, look at their paws. Always be inspecting your dog, and who knows, you might find something there that you didn't know. But when something does happen, then when you are looking at their eyes, they're not as freaked out as they would be if you haven't been looking at them.
Lastly, I know I've read and watched videos where people are introducing a bird scent. So whether that's upland bird scent like pheasant, grouse, quail, or waterfowl like ducks and geese. What do I do with that scenario there?
Yeah, so if you can, this fall, try to save you some duck wings, or maybe some friends have duck wings left over from the years previous, but put some duck wings on your dummy for your dog and introduce it to that scent, those feathers. So that's kind of nothing new to them when they go into the hunting world. So any upland bird, pheasant feathers, grouse feathers, waterfowl, anything that has feathers, introduce them to them when they're young.
Thank you for joining us today. We hope you continue to follow our puppy's training journey. In our next video, we will be discussing the importance of sit, stay, and come. If you are enjoying these videos, you can follow our YouTube channel, OhioDNR, to receive notifications, or you can like us on Facebook at Ohio Division of Wildlife.